Hey everyone, in this video I'm blocking in a portrait using Vine charcoal on newsprint. What I'm going to be doing is I'm using a high contrast image based after John Singer Sargent's self-portrait. This is one of my favorite ways to study drawing. It's super affordable and you can make tons of drawings without even worrying about the materials at all. It's a great way to train your eye for accurate proportions. Studies like this are really foundational. They sharpen our observational skills and they build muscle memory that really carries over into our finished work. I've put together a free PDF of high contrast old masters images, as well as a few of my own paintings that you can print and study from. It's available now on my Patreon page for absolutely free. All you gotta do is just sign up. So let's jump in. Tools I'm gonna use are the big Factus eraser, the Factus BM2 eraser, which is the same. What's in here is the same stuff that's in here, just as a pen format, and then Vine charcoal. I want to think about the window of where top of his head is going to be as we pull down to where his chin is going to be, ish. Start by doing a rectangle based around what I think the width is similar to, from the forehead here over to here. Looks pretty good. This might come down. And then where the ear is going to kind of line up. As my rough composition here, I'm composing. So as we talk about the CAM system, that's our CAM, compose, anchor, and measure out. This cuts in, over, got this kind of round movement in through here. Thinking a little bit about the forehead. This is going to come in and over. So thinking about the distance, the top of the head here to where the eyes sit, probably around here. This is our anchor point. So coming in, just kind of knocking in a basic shape that we can definitely change later. Keeping this width from what we find here to here, that looks pretty good. It can come in a little bit more. This can come out a little bit more. Tucks in, and then imagining that we have the ear probably starting around there. Just taking trips around our rectangle and carving into it. This is our envelope, and everything in the middle is going to be based on how we establish this eye through here. So I figure that this looks good. I'm squinting from far away. This has this kind of pointed end to it, to the brow. This comes and it's a wedge shape through here. I'm not getting super detailed yet, just thinking about what the gesture of what this main shape would be. And what that does is it kind of says, this is our solid space that we're going to be able to measure out from. So from here to here, it looks pretty good. It comes over. Maybe this is a little bit more blunted. And I'm using a stick that's not giving me super detail. It's a large, thick piece of wood. Thinking about the CAM system, the compose and now measuring out, as well as thinking about that Van Dyke Z. So what is the Van Dyke Z? Thinking from the space from here to here, the length of the nose, and then this underplane of where the shadow is going to be. Thinking about this shape in general, what is this whole structure in here doing? How does this relate to what's going on here? That looks okay. I feel like this can be a little bit more shortened. This space to here looks too long to me. Thinking about what it comes to about there instead. And then that pushes over. Down, over, and maybe this is where the start of the beard is. the beard shape, this angle. Taking a look back, always stepping back and squinting. Where does this line up with the eye? That's dropping a plumb line. And if we have this, I feel like sticks out a little bit further because we have this eyelid, and there, that pulls down into where the beard would kind of stop. So that looks okay for now. And then we have this tag along space through here, up through here, the space here related. Again, triangulating and squinting a lot. Thinking about how the ear is along this line right through there. And if this comes up, the ear is probably going to start around here. Width looks a little pretty good. Comes up like this, up, starts to make that curve, that turn right there. And that looks okay for now. And here I'm going to start to simplify our darks now that we got the basis for what our structure is going to be. Not worried about any of the mouth or the collar quite yet. If I see the collar, I see it comes to about there maybe. Not worried about it. But we're already starting to get a little bit of a likeness here. And just keeping things very, very simple. I'm not over-rendering an area, just thinking about the relationship of these shapes together. Comes through here. There's a little bit of collar, probably comes about here. How does that relate to this part of the ear? That looks pretty good. And again, simplifying. What's this space right here? I get to measure everything a number of times, which is great because it helps me to get the drawing more accurate. This comes in, I feel like this cuts up just a little bit. Squinting, what is this entire shape? So I see that could be a little bit shorter and dive just down just a little bit deeper. And then this could be, again, a little bit more of a rounded, almost question mark kind of shape. That pulls down over into the top of the ear. Thinking about what's going on from this shape to this shape right now. Again, keeping it, simplifying this whole mass. Again, using just this stick, so we're not getting super, super detailed yet. Just blocking in. That's what I want you guys to do. This is a great exercise in just simplifying and triangulating. And it's a fun warm-up kind of for painting. Like this is a little bit more curved. Again, using straight lines. Where does this line up with here to the side of there? Looks pretty good. Good enough. So I want you guys to think is like, what is this? Is this good enough? It's okay. Now we're going to come in with our eraser and think about this main structure through here. This comes down a little bit. We can slide over and get more of the specifics of this part of the nose. I feel like this can tuck in, and I feel like this part of the nose comes up a lot more than we have it. Again, basing it from this space on the eye. This comes down, we dip over this way, down, over, and he's got this cool shape that's in here. Really taking our time to get to know these spaces. And squinting a lot. This shape. How does it come into here? That looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. This shape, this gets a lot more edged, a little bit more acute of an angle. In there. Let's shore that up with the... You guys can also use, instead of just fine charcoal, you're welcome to use pastel pencils, or sorry, charcoal pencils as well in here to really carve this out. This space in here can be a little bit wider. Again, using our eye as our measuring spot. If we go from here up to here, I feel like this could come in a little bit more. If this is here, I feel like this dip is pretty nice. And it starts a little bit more about here. So just taking trips around our sketch. What starts here? So this is cool. This can be pushed out just a little bit further and angled. Using straight lines to get these shapes a little bit more accurate. Straight line, straight line, straight line. This pulls over a little bit, like that. This flattens out a little bit. Great. What we really think is like a really sharp, very steep angle, which is the nose here. We don't want to overplay that too much. It's very delicate and very nuanced. I feel like this could come up just a little bit. If we have this frontal part of the nasal cavity right through here. The nostril. And it's funny to see how these shapes are, because I'm a little too delicate for this charcoal stick, but we can think about what's going on with the full shape. That looks pretty good. It looks a little bit like, when we creaturize the shape, a dinosaur riding a surfboard. That's what we mean by creaturize. Making it look like something that looks familiar to us that we can replicate on the drawing side. So it's easier for us to compare. Like there's the tail, there's the foot, there's kind of the surfboard shape, that wedge shape. Then this is like very delicately attached to the space here. Looks pretty good. As we come down, I feel like this comes up a little bit higher as well. This comes down over. And I'll show you on the video the dinosaur on the surfboard. I know you guys are all super excited about that. This looks like a hummingbird without wings. in the ear here. Space between here, there's a little sliver of the mouth right there, and a little sliver of where not, again, really concerned with finding that stuff quite yet in this study. What this basically does is it helps us to, again, train our eye in comparative measurement. So I would recommend you guys do this. Redraw the same ones over and over again if you can, if you don't get bored. I don't find this boring at all because this is just so much fun to train my eye and find different areas to add to my drawing side. So it's kind of neat. You could spend an hour on one of these sketches, just keeping it super basic again, and just focusing on seeing. You know, anything's going to help us to become better artists if we're doing it. And I think this is so valuable in learning how to get that mindset of asking yourself questions as you go around the drawing. And as you go, you can kind of answer these questions that are built on other questions that you've asked in the past, thus making better informed decisions as you work. So as we work on this, it'll get better and better and better, as long as you are training your eye to be able to see where you've messed up. You want to find your mistakes. That's the most valuable thing we can do as painters, is to see our mistakes within our paintings. It comes down to here. I think that this could come up higher. And I know that this drawing is probably full with tons of mistakes. I thought hopefully this will serve as a good lesson for you guys on doing this on your own in your own studio. Again, newsprint pad, an eraser, and the willow charcoal. That's all you need. There's a low barrier of entry for becoming an artist, thankfully. You don't need expensive materials or puppy dogs barking in the distance. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This channel is supported by the Patreon page, and I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who's signed up, both on the free tier and the paid one. Your support really helps me to make these videos. If you want to join or grab that free Old Masters PDF, just check out the link below in the description. And remember, these studies don't need to be perfect. The more you do, the better you'll get. As you see, my demo isn't perfect by any means, but my next one will be better, and yours will be too. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. It really helps me to promote the channel here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and paint well. Cheers.